Okay, let's go.
All right, we're live here, and Jimmy, this is like the biggest guest we've ever had here. We have Scott Weiner from Scott's Pizza Tours and Slice Out Hunger with us. And Scott, I wanted to start before we have a really cool topic. We want to talk about the summer Slice-a-Thon, but Scott, I thought I'd share a quick story with you. Always been a huge fan, and I was at Pizza Expo in Atlantic City. It was a couple, maybe 3 years ago or something like that. And I had seen you on the floor, and I was over at the Pauline booth. I was going to do a thing. I was like, "Oh, I have to go say hello." And I got too starstruck, and I was too scared. I couldn't do it. I just was like, "Oh man, he doesn't want to talk to me," you know. So I thought I'd share that quick story that I was just too scared to go to come up to Scott. Now, getting to talk to you through text, I'm like, you're the most accessible person out there. So anyway, I thought I'd share that little fun tidbit before we got rolling here.
Possibly thinking that I was anything scary about me.
Not scary. Like to me, like I have certain like pizza heroes in the pizza community. You're one of them. So I was fanboying a little bit, and I just was like, it was as if like pizza people to me are like I would rather meet you than meet like a movie star, so to speak. You know what I mean? So it's important to me. So anyway, so I thought I'd just start by sharing that little embarrassing moment that I had, and wishing I had said hello earlier.
Well, I'm glad that we got to know each other, because although I had this same exact experience that you had when I started going to Pizza Expo, there were all kinds of people walking around, and I always thought like, oh wow, oh, and then like maybe 2 years later, be like, oh, I think that person actually looked at me. I think they gave me a nod of acknowledgement, like all that kind of stuff. And then now there are people who are like all close friends of mine, and you realize that no matter what world you're in, pizza, whatever, otherwise, like, everybody is a real human who is on a daily basis humbled by their business, because everyone's just up and doing the work every day. And when you only see snapshots of them through social media or whatever, or something on video that's off, like you don't get to see that. But every one of those people in that room at the Expo goes through crap every day. That is not something that you'd be envious of. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But anyway, I'm glad we got to talking now. But that was my first time in front of all these like pizza heroes, and I just couldn't muster up the courage to say hello. So, but I'm glad that I was courageous enough to show up on this live stream today.
Well, I'm glad to see you guys.
So the real reason we're here, though, is I was also nervous to do a Slice Out Hunger event after attending one of Jimmy Hank's events about 3 to 4 years ago. Uh-huh. And he had set up a whole pizzeria basically in his driveway, and he was raising money. And I just, I drove the 2 hours to go get there, and it was awesome. But I said, well, I'd love to do this, but like our health regulations and things, it just wouldn't work where I'm at. So Jimmy, like, talk me through what you went through and how you understood it.
So it's pretty cool how they have it set up where, there's no money exchanging hands between you making the pizza and the people that are coming to get pizza. It's a donation straight to Slice Out Hunger. When you sign up, you're going to get an email with a bunch of information, and you also get your own QR code that you can. What I did was I printed it out and put it in a frame and put it on the table right up front where we were like setting the pizzas as they were getting finished. And yeah, people just scan that code and it goes directly under like basically your name to Slice Out Hunger, so they know where it's coming from. And then it's like totally seamless, like no cash or anything involved. So it's a straight donation. So that's why you don't have to worry about the food police or anybody coming down on you, because you're strictly donating. So it's all charity.
So we're having a pizza party, and obviously the charity is Slice Out Hunger, and it's a summer Slice-a-Thon. But Scott, what's the concept, and what does any funds raised go toward? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, the whole concept, first of all, is that for anybody who's not familiar with Slice Out Hunger is a nonprofit that works through a network of about 800 pizza partners across the country. And what we do is our whole goal is to alleviate hunger issues and to help people who are facing food insecurity. And we do that with this network of pizza partners. And that network is partially made of pizzerias. So pizzerias who we either get donations from or we purchase pizza from to be delivered to people who need it. And then the other chunk of it are home pizza makers who do fundraising on their own or some sort of activities that help us help people who are facing food insecurity issues in their neighborhood. And so a lot of the campaigns we do throughout the year are industry facing. This is one of the campaigns that we do that's home pizza maker facing. And so the idea of this is we get home pizza makers to use their talents for good. And like people like me and you, Jim, I want to run a pizzeria. I don't make 50 pizzas. Jimmy Hank over here loves power washing his pizza pans out on in the lawn. He loves that stuff. I live in a Brooklyn apartment. Not only do I not have room for that stuff, I don't want anybody in my apartment who doesn't live there. So instead of having some people like Jimmy Hank do a big pizza party, invite people over, people can scan the QR code and make a donation. But really the whole idea is for people like me and you, Jim, who I want to make more than 4 pizzas a night. Like I usually make a batch of 4 doughs, I make 4, fine. That goes to us. We save 1 pizza, we eat it the next night. I want to be making maybe 15, and that's a lot of fun, but it's not overwhelming. Who's going to eat that? Well, I call up my neighbors, I send out an email, they all sign up for a pickup on a certain day and a certain time, and then they scan the QR code and they donate 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. And by the end of the summer, we raise a ton of money. And that money goes to a program that Slice Out Hunger runs called the Pie It Forward program. And Pie It Forward is our bank of cash that we use to purchase pizza from independent pizzerias to be delivered to fulfill delivery requests from shelters and soup kitchens. So our website has a portal where somebody in Missoula, Montana fills it out and says, hey, I run a shelter. We need to feed 30 people next Wednesday. And you do it. And then we look in the bank that we have that covers that part of the country. And we say, great, we got the cash. Great, we got a pizza partner nearby. We know that they give us 20% off for these deliveries. So every dollar of ours goes further than just any Joe Schmo calling up and buying a pizza. So when you raise money through this program, helping fund pizza deliveries that not just benefit people facing food insecurity, but they're also supporting these independent pizzerias out there anywhere in the United States.
It's an awesome cause. I want to go back to what you said, people like you and me, right? So someone might misconstrue that to mean influencers who show up online a lot. Now, I kind of almost had that perception too. Can you talk about people like you and me being like just home pizza bakers, right? Like you don't have to be a social media person. You don't, right? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, and it's funny. I think of myself as I do make pizza at home, but I am a much lower level home pizza maker than some of these real influencers. I'm not a home pizza making influencer. The whole idea of this is the person who enjoys making pizza at home. They might not live for posting reels about it and getting feedback like that. They just might be the person who got into it. They bought the Pizza Bible. They bought The Joy of Pizza. They bought Leo Spizzeri's new book, Pizza Love. Whatever. People who just gotten into it at home and they want to flex that to some friends. And instead of just making a few pizzas and inviting a couple of friends over, this is a fun way to do it and say, hey, come on over. I'm gonna make these pizzas, and if you want to make a donation, you can do it through Slice Out Hunger. And just like Jim said, the donation portal skips over any money reaching the person making the pizza. So this is why we get around a lot of these like health code issues, because you're not selling it, you're not even accepting a donation for it. Slice Out Hunger is accepting a donation. So It keeps it nice and easy. Yeah, you can make 4 pizzas and participate in this. You don't have to make 10 pizzas a night for 5 weeks. You can make 1 pizza and participate in this.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, especially if you like, I like your comment there about, say you're getting into pizza making, you got the Pizza Bible or Pizza Love, one of these books, and you really want to sort of, and you think you're making a good pizza and you want to show it off, sort of flex to your neighbors, be like, hey, I think I can make a pretty good pizza now. Like, why don't you come over? We'll have, a little party out on the deck, and I'll just make you a bunch of pizzas. But hey, I want to just ask you to do a donation to this cause. That's a really cool way to do it, because like you said, you make 2, 3, 4 pizzas, whatever, and it still goes a long way. So I think that's really, lowering that barrier of entry for people, that might be intimidated by thinking like, oh, I got to make like at least 10 pizzas. Like, that's not the case. You can make, like you said, a couple pizzas and still donation, and you're gonna have a fun time doing it, for sure. And you can do it multiple times too if you want. You don't have to just do it once. Like, if you do it once and you have a blast doing it, do it again. It's like it runs all summer long.
Well, that's what
I
do. That's how I do it at my apartment. Is every Friday, or whenever there's a Friday that I know I'm gonna be home, I make, say, 6 pizzas. We eat 3 of them. 3 of them are available to my neighbors. They sign up and pick them up, hand them out the door. I knock on their door. I hand it to them. It's fun. It's awesome. They look forward to it every summer. And at the end of the summer, maybe I made a couple dozen pizzas they've taken, and we raise a few $100s. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to get to know your neighbors too.
Oh my God. Everybody in my building knows me. Everybody is like, we already help each other. It's a co-op. So everybody there is kind of already helping each other out. But everybody who sees me is always like, yo, pizza guy, hey, have you been to this place? Have you seen that? And they're always willing to do us a favor because they know that I'm feeding everybody pizza constantly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. It's just a little more, and I can't stress enough, because I was the guy that overcomplicated this and like freaked out and tried to figure out ways to make this work. And then I talked to Scott, and it is what he says it is. It's just make a couple pizzas and accept a donation. So essentially you go buy some stuff at the store, you make your pizza. I also understand there's a pretty good swag bag sort of prize system that's involved here that, could you tell us about that?
Oh yeah. Actually, it's funny, as you're talking about this and like the simplicity and, who would participate, the people who bought which books and all that, I'm thinking about how I actually think this is maybe even a better program for people just getting into pizza making, because some of those prizes that you get, well, like as soon as you sign up to participate, like instantly, we send you an email, access to a King Arthur on-demand online class of how to make their New York style pizza. So, sorry guys, I just got a tornado alert or something on my phone.
Oh wow.
Here.
Yeah, in New Jersey, we'll see. Oh wow, that's a big cloud. Anyway, so what's cool about it is that as soon as you, hopefully I'll still be here in a minute. But what's neat about it is that you get this whole thing about you get the class immediately, and then if you raise $100, like all you have to raise is $100, and then you automatically get sent flour from King Arthur Baking. You get tomatoes from Bianco de Napoli. You get tomatoes and olive oil from Stanislaw and Cordo. Like, the idea here is that we want to make it as easy to participate as possible. So if you're willing to do this, I want to get you ingredients from some of our partners. King Arthur and Stanislaw are like big parts of ours. Uni is a big partner. They're sending out a prize. We have a couple big prizes that like if you get the most comments and likes on a social media post, you're eligible for one of these big prizes. If you raise the most money, you're eligible for a drawing for one of the big prizes. If you have the highest number of donors, 100 people donate $1 each, that's 100 donors. If you have the most number of donors, you could win one of these other prizes. So it's pretty low level. I wanted to give people ingredients as soon as possible, but we want to make sure that people actually follow through. We see that every year, a bunch of people sign up, and about 70% of them actually follow through. So all you need to do to follow through is raise $100. Once you do that, boom, we send you a bunch of ingredients to kind of help you deal with some of the expense of doing this. But also for me as a home pizza maker, I like to get my practice in. If I can make 7 or 8 pizzas, that's awesome. And for the person just starting, you want to invite your friends over anyway for pizza night. It's pretty awesome. And just like, hey, by the way, I'm participating in this. It's like if you're a runner and you want people to sponsor you at 10 cents a mile that you're going to run at an event. It's the exact same kind of thing, but we're doing it with pizza.
Mm-hmm. And you actually get the pizza, right? Like it's that you're not, it's like, it's not a really of a sponsorship. It's an exchange of value. It's just that you're not making that one-to-one connection there. So I think it's a great idea. And I'm glad I came to understand it better now, because literally anybody that can make pizza can do this.
Yeah. And you're not alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one thing I think is a big misconception that, like you hit the nail on the head, Jim. People think it's you have to be a pizzeria operator or pop-up operator or somebody that's active in the industry to do this, and you really don't. It can be anybody. So that's where we really want to kind of get that message out, because we have a pretty good audience of home pizza makers. So just trying to spread that love and get as many home guys involved as we can is sort of our mission here.
It's funny, every year we go through another process every year of like changing some of the wording, because we used to say, oh, you can run your own pop-up, but then we realized, well, people see pop-ups have become basically professional activities. So we said, okay, we got to use the word party. And then so every year we kind of like soften out that language. But this is always about home pizza makers, the lowest level of commitment possible, no need for health department or anything. It's you're making pizza for your friend and family, and you're asking them to consider making a donation.
Right.
And 100% of the money that we raise, 100% of it, we don't take anything out. 100% of that goes to buying pizza in your area. We can do that because we track each person's QR code. So it's not like the money goes into one big bucket. We know exactly who raised what.
Yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, I mean, having all the sponsors on board and all the prizes is awesome. I was just scrolling through the webpage and looking at some of you have like 3 different levels of prizes for different I guess individuals. So there's one is the most dough, whoever raises the most money with their pizza party. That's prize number 1. Then prize 2 is the biggest bash. So that's who hosts the biggest summer Slice-a-Thon party, and they're going to win an uni oven, which is pretty cool, and some accessories. And then 3 was the most pizzagram worthy. So that's the one where you get the highest engagement on a social post, which that's a pretty cool idea. I like that one. So when why don't you remind us, I guess, the dates, like what I know it's running now. So when does it end? And then sort of when do you, I guess, start going through and like considering those prizes and everything like that?
Yeah, so it's running right now, and it closes when summer ends, which is the end of September. And the way that those prizes are calculated, it's all on the website right underneath each prize. So like that biggest bash it's not like, oh, who had the most people at their one party. It's who had the highest number of individual donors. So I could win that. I mean, I can't, but hypothetically, by running one of these little things every Friday throughout the summer and having a handful of people, you could have a lot of donors. You could also put this up on your social media profiles and your LinkedIn, your whatever, your MySpace, and you can get people to like, donate just through the link without getting a pizza. That's always possible. But then the bigger, more exciting thing here is that you can win, like when you read some of these prizes, there's the one from King Arthur, which is cool. And that's the prize, is the most dough prize. So you raise the most money. And that prize is not just a bunch of equipment and a bunch of flour, but you also get a one-on-one consultation session with Martin Phillip from King Arthur. So it's perfect for somebody getting into pizza making, because they can get an hour-long session with somebody from King Arthur troubleshooting, hey, I have this issue. And then Martin will be the one to tell you, oh, well, here's something that's probably going to fix that for you. Easy. We love that kind of prize.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is pretty cool. I was going to try to I was going to share my screen here quickly just to kind of show what the campaign looks like. I think I'm on the wrong.
You got it.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
the wrong. The wrong window. All right. So this is literally all you would have to do is click register, guys. And you pick a pizza party name. Oh, it doesn't seem to advance through. Give me 1 second.
It is a really quick registration process. It takes maybe 2 minutes. And a lot of the information in there it could be temporary. Like you said, you're right. It says pick a pizza party name. And so I just plugged in. I mean, I register for this myself, even though I run Slice Out Hunger. Like I'm a participant just like anybody else. And I just threw like Scott's making some pizza. That's the name of my thing. And then it says, oh, put a date on there. When's the date of your event? I just threw any old date on there. And that just means that Slice Out sends me some automatic email just to say, hey, what can we do to help you? We know it's coming up soon. What can we do? And Slice Out Hunger just does a lot of follow-up with people. And sometimes it's funny when I get the emails, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's coming up soon. I'm a little nervous. But then I realize, oh no, these are just little reminders just to make sure that you're going to participate. So Slice Out Hunger is very on top of it, but it's also very simple, low level to participate. You see, this is the whole form. Pretty short.
Yep, yeah, that's it.
And nothing. And there's a thing in there about, I think there's a thing in there about your address, but we don't publish any address. We have a map that shows the region of the country where everybody's participating, just so you can see, oh, there's nobody on the West Coast. I really got to do this. Try to give people a little bit of urgency about participating. Yes. So that's our Pie It Forward delivery map. That's where we've made deliveries through the Pie It Forward program. We love maps. We also have a partner map, so you can see a map of all of our pizza partners around the United States. We have every state covered, and I think every territory as well. So it's really trouble early on.
Yeah, it's a great site, and
where people.
Oh,
you can go ahead.
You still there?
Yeah. Oh, I'm here. Anyway, we had trouble early on as Slice of Hunger because we're a New York City-based organization, and a lot of people thought that we just do work in New York, but we are nationwide. We're in every state and territory, so people participate and not worry about the money that they raise going to a shelter in Queens that they've never heard of. It's all the money stays in localities that you choose.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I guess my takeaways here are it's simple. Anybody that can make a pizza can do it. You're not opening a pizzeria, and it goes to a really great cause. And it actually serves two purposes. It feeds people and it supports local pizzerias, right? So just
True.
Home run wins all the way around.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of most of what Slice Out Hunger does is we're all about the pizzerias, especially independents, and then we're all about the community building process here. So those pizzerias are in a community of themselves that you mentioned at places like Pizza Expo, but then also it's this community of people who are home pizza makers, not necessarily people who have social media accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers where they show off their pizza day. It's really just anybody who at home enjoys making pizza and wants to share that with their friends and family.
We have a question from Jeff Berman. Does the highest engagement include Facebook as well, or just Instagram? He says he has to get with the times.
That's a great question. I think it's both. I'll have to relook at what he said it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure it's across platform on a single post. So if you have a post that's up on Instagram or on Facebook or both, I think it's the sum total of all of it. We're with you, Jeff.
Thanks. I think Jeff's already
you're more with the
signed up.
times than me.
All right. I was just looking to see if we had any more questions, and
yeah, lay them on me if you got questions.
Somebody asked if you knew what pan-fried Sicilian was.
You know, I actually took a class about it recently from this really great online pizza academy. I did. Seriously, I do know what that pizza is, and it's awesome. But I have a question for Jim and Jimmy. and I need clarification on here because I'm familiar with Sicilian pizza. What is the line where Sicilian pizza ends and pan-fried Sicilian begins?
I get that a lot, and it's always up for debate. So a Sicilian, when we say Sicilian, I'm going to say like an Americanized Sicilian with a, thick, fluffy, par baked ahead of time crust, sometimes with the tomato sauce baked on it, and then so a pan fried Sicilian is the difference is you might get a little squirt of oil on the bottom of an American Sicilian. This is actually a very copious amount of peanut oil poured underneath the pizza. Sometimes up to a cup of oil underneath it. So you get this sort of crackly, like pork rind surface texture on the bottom. And the middle is not meant to be light and airy. It is meant to be dense, doughy, and chewy, where the bottom, so it's a much different experience. Also, a Sicilian pizza would typically have a pretty well seasoned herb forward, maybe some garlic in the sauce, a smoother sauce, where this is just like a crushed tomato, which is largely flavored by sweet onions that are like placed in the sauce. And then the cheese is generally a white cheddar cheese, maybe a cheddar mozz blend, but I think that would be a sacrilege in a lot of circles to put anything other than mozzarella on a Sicilian pizza. So those are some of the differences, but it's really only here in Northeast PA that they make this version of it.
And I was going to add on to that the part about the dough being a little bit more dense and chewy sort of has to be, because if it was a lighter, airier dough, it's going to absorb the oil. So that's what sort of differentiates it when you have that sort of denser, chewier dough. And there's a lot of technique to it that Jim teaches in the class, because if you get like a bad pan fried Sicilian, it's going to be greasy and you're going to have that grease in your mouth. A really good pan fried Sicilian is not greasy at all. It basically, the dough is just going to fry in that oil, and it almost like floats in that oil and just fries. And it doesn't suck the oil up. So that's one distinction that is really important when people, and it's funny because you get the trolls online and they see all this oil in the pan and they're like, oh man, what a greasy pizza. Like, what are you doing? But the pizza is not greasy at all if you execute it properly.
Here's
awesome.
a fun question. I have a fun one that just came in from Ian. What kind of pizza do you think Taylor and Travis are serving tonight at Madison Square Garden?
So, I mean, if they were serving anything, it would be Lucali.
Yeah, probably. Mark's probably there making pizza for them.
I mean, he has in the past.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean, maybe this is the time to share this story. This is a scoop. This is a big scoop.
Oh man, here we go. I wish we had like a sounder with a graphic, like breaking news, like
breaking news. I'm not even kidding about this. So over COVID, when I had to stop doing pizza tours, I started this thing called Pizza Resource Center, which was basically home pizza making supplies, all the stuff for the home pizza maker. And then I introduced a line of T-shirts from pizzerias around New York City that I was friendly with. We designed pieces of art specific to each place so that we could have this like set of 5 or 6 different T-shirts. And we had a Lucali shirt, and it was my former neighbor Boris drew a wine bottle on its side and a great like a basil leaf, and it said Lucali. And we sold it for a couple of years and then stopped. But one of the purchases was for 2 of those T-shirts, and it came from Travis Kelce, shipped to his home address in Kansas City, I guess. It was clearly a T-shirt for him and a T-shirt for his, now, depending on what time it is, wife.
Wow.
They do own Pizza Resource Center Lucali T-shirts, limited edition.
Wow.
So the answer to your question is it would be Lucali.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm not joking.
And why am I not surprised you had an ultra specific answer and an amazing story to go with that? That's awesome. Thanks for the question, by the way, Ian.
I've not said this to anybody. It came up yesterday because I had some joke not being invited to the wedding, and my wife was like, "Well, you do remember you sold them those shirts?" And I was like, "Oh, God, I forgot." Well, I got this order from an email address that was like his name.
That's wild.
Shipped to an address that would have been anyway. They own some Luke Alley t-shirts. That's all I'll say.
That's really cool. Jeff's got another one here then, but I don't know. Do you need to run? Because I know it's getting past 8 o'clock now. I don't know how much time we have, but I know Jim was trying to get out to see some fireworks here.
It's we can take another question and then I gotta roll to kiddo bedtime.
All right. So Jeff Berman, I know Jeff's a good friend of ours online. I met Jeff in Vegas this past March. So he's doing your New Haven tour with Colin. Looks like he's asking if you have any pre-decided spots for the tour, or is it more top secret?
Not really top secret, because the New Haven spots are there. It's not like going to New York City where there's 2,300 places and you can pick any 10 and you're going to have a great day. The New Haven one, we're definitely hitting Pepe's and Sally's, Modern, very likely almost definitely Zupardi's, and likely Zanelli. I mean, it's like we're basically hitting all the places that I would hit anytime I go up there.
Nice. I love Zupardi's. That's my favorite. The sausage pizza at Zupardi's, like love that.
Their lamb pie, their sausage pie.
The sausage is amazing. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Great question, Jeff. Great question.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, let's might as well wrap it up here. Thanks again, Scott, for coming on. This was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And thanks for the scoop on the breaking news and COVID story. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty
true
awesome.
Story.
You're always good, Scott. I swear, every time I talk to him, he's always good for some gem of a story like that. It doesn't matter what the topic is. So, like, you're always a pleasure to speak with. I love it. So thanks again for coming on, man. We'll try to get as many people involved as we can with summer Slice-a-Thon, and I know I got some dough in the fridge. I'm gonna try to do some pizza on Sunday if it's not too hot, but we'll see.
Well, it's gonna be great, whatever it is, and remember, you don't have to open up a pizzeria to participate. You can do it at any level that you're comfortable with. Participating in this is as simple as making one pizza. So. Check out the website. Let us know if you have any questions. And Jimmy, thanks for having me chat with you guys. This is really a really exciting moment at the beginning of for this whole campaign. We're really excited to be doing it.
We're pumped too. So thanks so much for coming on with us. I know you had some tornadoes going on there and you powered through. So, but if anyone
has
any
good
questions,
pun, because did you see the power flicker? The power's been flickering. Good pun.
Wow. But your connection stood through. So we thank you so much. And sincerely, if anyone has any questions about this and you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, message one of us and we'll help you through, because I had concerns and questions too. And I no longer have any concerns. So reach out, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Catch you later.
Scott.
Bye, y'all.